Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. The Hindus and Muslims of British India led 1 year and 6 months long rebellion in 1857. Unfortunately, the rebellion failed, and this raises the questions: why did it fail? So we're going to be discussing the primary reasons why it failed. First reason was the lack of organization. You see, British India consisted of modern-day Bangladesh, Pakistan, and India. But the rebellion was only in modern-day India and only in North India. There was no rebellion in South, no rebellion in Bengal, no rebellion in Punjab, no rebellion in the Rajput states, and if and most of modern-day Pakistan did not take part in the rebellion. There was one rebellion in Karachi, but that was brutally crushed. The reason was that there was no good communication between the revolutionaries, so they did not know what to do next. Like, suppose if they take Delhi, then what to take next, where to head next. They did not have this good communication, while the British, unfortunately, did. Second issue was the lack of leadership. The rebels, Muslims and Hindus, together proclaimed the Muslim prince Bahadur Shah Zafar as the emperor of Hindustan. The problem was that Bahadur Shah could not lead battles because he was 81 years old. And the second problem was that although we did have lots of brave people in our armed forces, in our rebellion army, many of them did not really know what to do next in terms of geographical issues and political ones. They did not know how to deal with the British in case they played a political card or something, or where to head next. There was another famous leader in the army, for example, called Kunwar Singh, a famous Hindu prince. He was 80 years old and he was killed fighting. But once again, he too did not know much about areas that were outside his realms. Bahadur Shah was a quite brave man, and he even said once that as long as the Muslim warriors have faith in Allah, the sword of Hindustan will always flash before the throne of London. And fun fact, it did, but still the lack of leadership stayed at that point. The third issue was the lack of military weapons, especially the advanced ones. General Bakht Khan Rohilla and the Rani of Jhansi are famous leaders, and there are many others like General Tatia Top. But the problem was that the rebels did not have good weapons, and even if they had in high quantity, they weren't still enough for everyone, while the British had unlimited supplies and even their allies were giving them. Whereas the revolutionaries did not have much. Once their stock ran out, they did not know what to do. And the last and the most important issue, I believe, after leadership was pro-British traitors. You see, British India was not ruled all of it by the British directly. In fact, many of them were ruled by princely states. Princely states were basically ruled by princes who had submitted to the British and at some point in history supported the British against their own people, against the Hindustani people. Okay? And these are known as traitors as well. And there were lots of princely states who supported the British in the rebellion. For example, the Begum of Bhopal, she had everyone talking about independence arrested. If anyone preached in the mosque about independence, she would jail him. If somebody had connections with Maratha independence activists like Nana Sahib Peshwa, they would arrest him. And the Patiala state, which was ruled by Sikh Maharajas, they even sent weapons to the British to crush this rebellion. And the Rampur state, whose Nawab was a Muslim, was even given lots of gifts by the British simply because he continued to secure their supply lines and all that stuff, which of course led to the rebellion's failure. So, although these princes received lots and lots of awards from the British, Hindustan had to see 90 more years, another 90 years of colonial rule. Thank you very much for watching, and special thanks to the acknowledgements you can see on my screen.